Let us start the introductory session on Lean Six Sigma. On behalf of Grey Campus, I am SN Panigrahi, and this is my brief profile. I am international corporate trainer, mentor and author. I have done more than 150 programs globally and published more than 500 articles. YouTube and SlideShare presentations I made more than 100. And this is my brief profile. And let us move with this concept. We are talking about Lean Six Sigma. Lean Six Sigma has two concepts. One is about the lean, another is Six Sigma. Lean is all about the Toyota concept of reducing the waste, and Six Sigma is a Motorola concept of reducing the variance. So both put together is for the improvement of the process. So Lean Six Sigma primarily targeting for reduction of the waste, improving the process capability for better performance and improved product quality, lowered the product cost and shorter delivery times. So this is brought about the Lean Six Sigma. Then as I told you, lean concept is from the Toyota, and it is all about the removal of the waste, and also it talks about smoothening the flow. Therefore the shorter cycle time and just in time concepts are there in lean concepts, lean practices. Then come to the Six Sigma. Six Sigma, as I told you, it is a reduction of the variance or the reduction of the defects, so reducing the bad quality. Lean concept targets about the elimination of the waste, whereas the Six Sigma talks about the elimination of the errors. In lean concepts, there are basically 5 principles are there. That is value stream mapping and flow, establish pull and pursuit for perfection. Whereas the Six Sigma, there are broadly 2 approaches are there. For the existing procedures or existing processes, there is a concept called DMAIC, means define, measure, analyze, improve and control. And for the new processes, then another concept or approach is DMADV, means define, measure, analyze, design and validate. So these are the broadly 2 concepts merged together for the improvement of the process. So Six Sigma broadly, what is the concept? Again I will tell you. One is the lean is targeting about the efficiency, because it is eliminating the waste, so therefore the value added happens. So it is always talks about the efficiency, and it also talks about speed, because of these lead times, cycle times and takt times will be reduced, therefore the speed of the delivery will be increased. And whereas in the Six Sigma we are talking about the effectiveness, and when we talk the effectiveness means it's a delivery as expected, as per the intended expected result we have to deliver with accuracy. And it talks about the reduction of the variance and improvement of the process quality and capability. So this is broadly about the 2 concepts, both put together brings about process excellence, and both concentrate on the customer satisfaction. And what are the benefits? I'll talk briefly. The Lean Six Sigma basically targets about the value to the customer. Value to the customer in terms of the quality without defects, and in terms of the early deliveries, and in terms of the cost, reduce the cost. So this is the value to the customers. And also the Lean Six Sigma enables smoother operations and simplified processes, and decrease defects and reduce the cost as a result of all these things, and improved productivity, because the waste is being eliminated, enhance the value, so that productivity will be increased, and as a result of all, the revenue for the organization also improves drastically. And Lean Six Sigma basically improves the morale of the employees and their performance, and also it is talks about the continuous improvement. It is not like one time some project like we have done, but it has to be continuously improved. There is no question that we have achieved the perfection, so that there is always a scope for the improvement. That is the basic concept behind this Lean Six Sigma. So it is continuous improvement. And then contribution to the society and environment. Yes, when we are reducing the waste, when you are reducing the resources utilization or consumption, then it is indirectly and directly also contribute for the environment as well as for the society. And of course, these Lean Six Sigma concepts transform the working culture of the organization, because it's a concept always towards the customer focus and positive towards improvements. So continuous improvements and focus on the customers, these are the basic cultural changes it brings into organization. And just before we are going with the Lean Six Sigma concepts, let me brief a few things about the quality. What did we do? What do we mean by quality? Because both are basically quality concepts. So let us understand what is the quality from the layman approach. Like, what is the quality? Quality is generally, it has been defined in a generic way. It is called as a fitness for use or purpose, and it's to do the right thing at first time, and also to do the right thing at right time, and find out knowing the customer's requirement or wants and fulfilling that requirements so that customer satisfaction is achieved. And also it is talks about freedom from the deficiency, means we should not deliver anything defects, there should not be any errors in deliveries. And it is conformance to the standards, means specifications or any national or international standards or industry standards, it has to conform. And also in monetary terms, generally quality is termed as value for the money, means what is the customer willing to pay for us. So that is basically, this is the concept about the quality, definition of the quality. Now let us move to the generic. Garvin has given some concept called 8 dimensions of the quality. What are those 8 dimensions? We'll discuss. Garvin has given this concept. He talks about the quality, means there are 8 dimensions. One is the performance. Performance is related to this functionality, whether the product is meeting the functional requirement or not. So that is the performance. And the other one is reliability. Reliability, how far it is the product is sustaining, or it is how far it is failing. So that is reliability. And durability, how long it lasts. And its serviceability, how it is available for the repair or service of the product or services provisions. And its aesthetics, means it is related to its look, outer look, its appearance, and its artistic fashion. All these things called about aesthetic. And its features, of course, when we are going to purchase, for example, a mobile, we look into various features, what it contains. It's about the camera, or it about the various other features which is the product. So that is also, it is a one dimension of the quality, various features of the product. Then perceived quality. Perceived quality means it is about the company's reputation or product image, and some general public, how it is been perceived. That is also concerned about the quality. So it is what the reputation of the company or its product. Suppose we are going to purchase a car. So suppose we selected a Toyota. Toyota we select because it has a reputation about its quality. In the market, generally its perception is good quality. So similarly, like it is conformance to the standards. Conformance standards means it is specifications or industry standards or national or international standards it has to comply with. So these are the 8 dimensions of the Garvin's. So it is gives a basic understanding what we mean by quality. And in fact, in a Lean Six Sigma, we are not just talking about subjectively about the quality, but we are measurably called about the quality, its performance, its reliability, durability, all these things we will perfectly measure and then quantify, then we will decide about. So that is about the Lean Six Sigma concepts. We will come again this quality basic concepts about the quality. One is the 7 principles we will discuss. First principle is customer focus. Then the second is management support and leadership. For any quality initiatives, the first and fundamental requirement is management support and direction and right support and provision of the resources, funds. All these are very essential for the success of the quality initiatives. So management support and leadership. Then it is involvement of the people, because ultimately people has to be delivered these outputs or deliverables. So it is people concern. So people has to deliver. So it is one of the principles is people's involvement. Then it's process approach. Quality, when we are talking about, it is quality should be inbuilt in the process itself, not it is inspected later on. Means that is post facto is not advisable. It is always inbuilt in the process itself. So it is a process approach. And of course continuous improvement, there is no perfection, like every time there is an opportunity for improvement. So it is continuous improvement is one of the basic principle. Then it is evidence based decision making, because everything is measurable, and on the measurement, on the particular data, we take the decisions. Then about the relationship management, yes, because there are one side the customer, the other side the supplier, and various stakeholders are there. With everybody we should have a proper relationship, so then only quality can be ensured. So these are the 7 principles of quality. Then we'll understand the 7 characteristics of the quality. The characteristics is, one is the accuracy and precision, means target value it has to be achieved. Then it is a legitimacy and validity, and its reliability and consistency, and its timeliness and relevance, and its completeness and comprehensiveness, availability and accessibility, then granularity and uniqueness. These are the 7 characteristics of the quality. Now quality has 2 aspects. One is about the quality assurance and quality control. Quality control is always like it is reactive and post-mortem, like after the incident happened. For example, after the production we are inspecting, that is quality control. Whereas the quality assurance is proactive measure, and it is targeting towards the first time right and 0 defects. So all our concepts like Lean Six Sigma or the ISO 9000 or FEMA audit, quality audits, all these things forms into the quality assurance part. And inspection, for example, after the production, whatever you will test it, inspect it, all these things are comes into the quality control. And generally quality control is avoidable, and quality control always emerge into the rework and repair of the products. So it is a extra cost incurs, and lots of waste of the resources are there. So we should avoid, we have to ensure that quality is assured. So the Lean Six Sigma is basically concentrating on the assurance part. So that is how we are just understanding the quality. Then we'll move for the Lean Six Sigma concepts. Before moving for the Lean Six Sigma concept, then again I have to tell that in quality there are two problems are there. One is about the defects or errors. The other one is related to delays. These are the 2 problems generally, and for the 2 problems we have the 2 solutions. The 2 solutions are, one is the right setting of the process, and another is right behavior change, that is of the people. Means this Lean Six Sigma basically talks about the process and people, and because all the errors or defects or delays happens because of the 2 aspects. One is about the process, the other is related to people. So if we have a right setting of the process and right behavior of the people, then the problem will be solved. So that is the basic concept about the Lean Six Sigma. And quality is not an assignable task. It must be rooted and institutionalized within the steps of the business process itself. Means quality is inbuilt in the process. That is the basic concept of the quality. And of course for the quality everybody is responsible. It's not that after the production the quality department is ensuring the whether it is acceptable and rejected. Not just they are the responsible people. It is the responsibility of the everybody involved in the process. So that is the basic concept behind this people and process of the quality. Now let us have a deliberation on the lean. What is the lean concept? Lean is nothing but it is a elimination of waste, as I already told you. and it is an optimization of the processes so that in the flow this tuck time and lead time, cycle time, all these things has to be reduced and there should be smoother flow. Therefore, the process will be optimized, as a result cost reduction, and of course it is basically based on this continuous improvement concept. So there is an opportunity there for continuous improvements, and of course it is a organizational cultural changes and brings in boost in innovations. Always it focus on the customer. Then this lean, as I told you, there are 5 principles are there. One is define value, then map value stream, create flow, and establish pull, and pursue for perfection. Perfection is continuous improvement. That is what the continuous improvement is built into the system. The value, define value, is the fundamental. First we have to understand what the customer is willing to pay for it and what customer is valuing. Voice of customer we have to understand. Then we have to convert the voice of customer into the measurable parameters. The CTQ means this quality which are the customers required. It has to be measurable parameters which can be incorporated in the process itself. And then it is a value stream, value mapping stream. So we have to make 2 mappings. One is the current process, at present what is the process flow, and then after the improvements, of course, then we have to make the again the final after the improvements, the mapping. That is called map value stream mapping. Then we have to see the flow, how this flow is there, anything extra flows are there or wastes are involved in that, we have to eliminate, so that we have minimized the route, and we have to eliminate the unnecessary active steps in the flow. Then it is always Lean Six Sigma concept is talks about the pull. Pull means as and when required by the customer, then only we have to deliver. Anything we are extra production means overproduction, or anything inventory we are built up is all waste. So as per the lean concept, this is the waste, extra overproduction and inventory built up, all these things are waste, so that has to be eliminated, and we have to follow the pull principles. Pull means only and as and when required by the customer we have to produce and deliver to him. Just like just in concept and Kanban are the pull concepts. Then it's about the perfection. Perfection is nothing but continuously improving the process and improving the system and improving the deliverables. So that is about the perfection. So lean is based on these 5 principles. Then we'll discuss, this is the basic of the lean. There are some tools are there, tools and techniques, and these are the basic tools and techniques. Of course, when you join the sessions, we'll discuss details of all these processes. So these are about all the tools and techniques of the Lean Six Sigma. Then we will briefly discuss what is the mean by value. Value is defined as what the customer is willing to pay for it. Our value is again is something we are transforming the characteristics of the product. For example, from the raw material we are changing into a finished goods. That is the value we are adding up. This raw material is converted into finished goods. So that is the value addition. And also doing the first time right is also value addition. Otherwise there will be rework will be there, or scrapping will be there, or repairs will be there. Those are waste. Those are non-value added. So the first time doing the right is a value addition, and change of the form is a value addition, and what the customer is willing to pay is a value addition. So what the customer generally willing to pay for it? He may be willing to pay for the product. In exchange he is paying certain cost, means he is sacrificing certain cost. That is the cost is a value to the customer. And it is delivery, right delivery, it should not be delayed. For example, you are ordering a pizza. The pizza you expected within half an hour, but it is supposed delivered after the 2 hours. Then it is not a good quality. It's a waste. It's a non-value added. Is that extra time what is consumed is not wanted by the customer. So customer is expecting as a value means cost. It's delivery means delivery and reliability and its response also. suppose after the sales and or while you are making the booking of the order or any of your request, how they are responding. That is also service aspect also important, as that is being valued by the customers. Then what is the non-value added? Non-value added is nothing but which are not adding any value to the customer. Those are called as non-value added. So non-value added, again there are two aspects are there. One is necessary for the business, the other is not necessary for the business. For example, there is a factory is there, they are manufacturer. In the manufacturing factory, that unit, there may be requirement of some security guards. At the entry gates, there may be security guard are there. But security guards are not directly contributing anything to the production or the process, so those are not value added. But as a business requirement, we require from the security point of view, we require this security guards. So those are called as necessary. Means it is necessary for the functioning of the business, though it is not directly adding value to the process or the product. It is not adding any value to in the point of the customer's point of view. Even then, it is necessary for the business, so that we have to retain these things. So these are called necessary. Which are not necessary and which are non-value added, those are called waste. Means waste is, these are non-value added activities and also not required from the business point of view, then it is called as unnecessary or waste items. So the waste has to be removed. In the lean, there are actually there are 3M concept is there as per the Toyota production system. These are three Japanese words. One is called as a muda. Muda is a pure waste. Then there is a muri. Then muri is nothing but overburden, and mura is unevenness. So these are the three basically waste. Mura is as a pure waste. There are 7 wastes originally conceived by the Toyota system. Later on, one more waste also added, that I will show you in the subsequent slides. And that unevenness or the overburden also treated as a waste. Because if it is anything unevenness there in the process, for example, we have the process, there are 6 steps are there, but one step has a higher capacity, the other one is lesser capacity, then the flow will not be uniform. There is unevenness there. The process will deliver more, whereas the other process unable to absorb or take into. So there is a accumulation of the inventory will be there. So that is an extra inventory develops as a result of the extra production there in the process, in the step. But other processes steps are lesser capacity, so there is unevenness in the process. So unevenness in the process generates unnecessarily certain steps. There is extra production and also generates more inventory and waiting times. So therefore these also leads to waste. Similarly, overburden, for example, a machine is running, their capacity is 100, but we are running at say 120%, means extra of 20% extra burden we are loaded. Anytime the machine may break down. Similarly, people are working, resources are working, for example, so more than say 8 hours, they may be extended for 10-12 hours, then it is overburden. Anytime that productivity may come down or breakdown can happen. So these are also treated as a waste. So these are basically, as per the Toyota concept, these are 3M. And now we'll talk about what are the pure waste. As per the Muda, what are the waste? As I told you, there is a 7 waste originally, but later on one more waste is also added. So therefore now it comes as 8 waste. 8 wastes are defined into downtime. Means that is the abbreviation we have created. So these are the downtime. The first D is talks about the defects or errors. So the first one is the defects and error is the waste. Anything defect happen, we have to make the rework or repair or scrap it out. Therefore it is in a waste. So defects is the first waste. Then there is overproduction. Overproduction leads to unnecessary consumption of the resources, and it is not taken by the customer, therefore it is going into the inventory, is a waste. And waiting time, yes, it is a waste again, because we have to wait for the next step, it is a waste. And non-utilization of the talent, this is the where they added the one more waste. originally 7 waste, and this 8th waste is non-utilization of the talent. So the non-utilization of talent means you have the extra qualified and you have a skill, but you are not utilized fully and you are underutilized is a waste. Then it's transportation, extra transportation or extra inventory or extra movement in the process or extra processing. All these things are treated as a waste. So these are the downtime is related to 8 wastes. Then we'll already we have discussed this is Toyota system concept. Lean is basically from the Toyota. So these are the various tools and techniques that have been used in the lean concept. So now we'll move to the Six Sigma. Six Sigma is, as I told you, it is basically a Motorola concept. In Motorola, it has emerged this concept in 1980s. So basically for this there are 3 people are involved who are there. I will show you. Basically Six Sigma, the sigma is taken from the Greek symbol sigma. It is a standard deviation and is a measurement of the process variance. And this Six Sigma, when we talks about the defects, means it is always talks about the Six Sigma levels. When we reach it, then the defects level must be less than 3.4 defects per million opportunities. Further, of course, we'll discuss what is the Six Sigma, and there is various levels of sigmas are there: 1 sigma, 2 sigma, then 3 sigma, 4 sigma, 5 sigma, and 6 sigma. When the 6 sigma reached, then the defect rates must be less than 3.4 defects per million opportunities. And if it is for example 3 sigma, then it is 99.73% of the defects, whereas in 6 sigma it is 99.99967% of the defects. I mean perfection, that the accuracy levels we have to reach. And as I told you, there is an approach is called Six Sigma methodology. One of the well accepted approach is DMAC, that is a define, measure, analyze, improve and control. This is used for the existing systems or existing process. Now Six Sigma generally talks that it is like a philosophy, and because it is philosophy, it talks about the 0 defects, and it talks about the improvement of the customer's loyalty and reduction of the waste and reduction of the cost. So it is looks like almost like a philosophy, like 0 defects is always like a philosophy, like, and very difficult to achieve, but it is striving to achieve such a perfection. Then it is a metric, because everything is measured, then only decisions are being taken, improvements are taken based on the measurements. So therefore it is a metric, and it is a methodology. Again it's called because it's taken certain data driven methodologies in the certain sequence steps been followed, so it is been a methodology. Then it is also a management system, because it is a quality management system and customer satisfaction, all these things we are taking a systematically approach to the management concept. So as I told, the origin of the Six Sigma, it is developed in the 1980s by Motorola, and in 1980s they are faced with a very difficult situation about their survival, because of the this Japanese companies means they emerged as leaders, and in the tough competition they find it very difficult to survive. Therefore that time this Motorola chairman was there, that CEO Bob Galvin has thought of introducing the certain concept based on the statistical modeling to introduce in the Motorola to improve upon the quality. As a result, cost reduction also been targeted. Then Bill Smith is generally called as a father of Six Sigma. He is from the Motorola. He is basically a scientist. He has introduced the concept Six Sigma. Then most of the contributions done by the Dr. Michael Harry in terms of the quantifying and using the statistical models or statistical tools he has introduced in this system. As a result of this introduction, during this 1986 to 2004, the company is saved almost like $17 billion. This is the greatest achievement done by the Motorola as a result of introduction of the Six Sigma concepts. So as I told you, the Michael Harry is first introduced the concept of problem solving through statistical analysis. That is the first he has introduced the model. Then Bill Smith, as a senior scientist, he has taken the concept of Six Sigma, that standard deviation, and it's a way of finding the defects. Then he is called as a father of Six Sigma. And Harry, of course, further has taken the Six Sigma into throughout the Motorola organization, and officially they launched, as per the Bob Galvin's chairmanship, they launched the Six Sigma concept throughout the Motorola. Then the certification and other things started, and that is how the movement they started with various steps. Then also they started the first time that black belt and green belt is compulsory in their organization at certain levels. So that is taken, this concept is taken from the martial art. Actually the belt concept is taken from the martial art. What is that belt concept? I'll tell you. The certifications I'll tell you. Then this is the how the progress all over the world happened because of this tremendous savings in the cost and customer satisfaction. As a result, the revenue growth as well as the company organizational growth also happened, and many organizations are accepted this Six Sigma concept over a period of time. Then I will tell you about what are the various Six Sigma certification levels are there. There's a white belt. White belt is in an introductory level of knowledge sharing. That's very preliminary understanding of the what is what about the Six Sigma. So that is called as a white belt. Then yellow belt is again a staff level understanding of the various concept of the Six Sigma for the improvements. Also the yellow belt are the ground level people who will associate and help these green belt and black belt projects, because the data collection and various other aspects they can help. And then green belt, they are the part-time practitioners. They can take up the smaller these projects, and they can also assist the black belt in terms of the larger projects for the data collection, analysis, and various aspects they can assist. Then black belt are full-time specialists, and they can take up the projects, and they can then guide the down the line these green belt, then yellow belt and white belt. Then master black belt is really they are the mentors at the larger and the organization level. They will guide to the green belt, black belt, and various other projects they guide, and they will also means provide for the resource provisions. And champion is who is the owner of the process, and they are generally at the top level. They are the leaders in the organization, like. So that is the champion. So these are the levels of the certification. Now let us understand what are the two methodologies. As we understood, there are two methods or approaches are there. One is about the DMAIC. This is for the existing processes or existing products. We adopt this process. For the new products, for example, the new designs, for example, when we started the new car design, for example, we start with the DMADV. That is the define, measure, analyze, design, and validate. So these are the two methods are there. One is for the existing processes, another is for the new processes. Then start, because generally we talk about the DMAIC, that is for the existing processor improvements. Just a minute. Hello. Yeah. Just a minute. Sorry. So generally what is happened, we take a business problem. The business problem is for example there is a late deliveries, or efficiencies are less, or product rejections are more. So those are called as a business problem. So first we have to identify or define what is our problem. That is what is our goal. So also certain times improvement aspects, for example opportunities. So we have to take the business problem, that is in the terms of this approach is define the problem or define the opportunity. Therefore we first start with the definition of the problem. Then the next one is a statistical. The business problem we are converting into statistical problem, means in the measurements, proper identification first. After identification we are measuring what is the existing process system, what is our for example deliverables, how we are delivering, how many delivery defects are there, that percentage of the defects or the percentage of the late deliveries, like that we are taking the measurements at the current process. So that is called measurement, means we are taking statistical method. Now problem we are converting, the business problem is converted into statistical problem in terms of proper measurement. Once we measure, then we can analyze what is the root cause. So that is what investigation. So that is which are the X factors, means the input factors which are contributing for the defects. So that is the analyze. Then there is a statistical solution. The statistical solution is like improvements, means once we identify what are the root causes, then we have to improve it. So which is the optimum mix of the X, that is bringing the right our targeted Y. So that is what the improvement is, the statistical solution. Then once this statistical solution is found, we have to stabilize it, smoothen it, document it and sustain it through various control methods and etc. So it is called business solution we have arrived at. So from the business problem to a statistical problem, then statistical solution, then business solution. So that is an approach. So this approach is through DMAIC. Then when we talks about the Six Sigma, and generally we talks about there is an output, because that is the goal, that is our object, that is what our problem or effect. So y is a function of x, that is the basic fundamental here. Y is function of x. X means inputs. Inputs means it's raw material, packing material, consumables or system or services, or it is a process inputs itself. So those are the called as the inputs. If the inputs are correct, then automatically the y means output will be correct. So that inputs we have to focus now, which are those x factors, so that if you correct the x factor, then y will be corrected and it will be delivered perfectly. So deviation will be reduced. That is the basic concept behind the Six Sigma. So these are the various inputs. Then this is the output. Output is dependable one, and it's an effect or symptom. And if you focus on the x and improve the x, then automatically y will be improved. So again, once we are talking about DMAIC approach, the y, the define is y factor, means what is the our customer's requirement, that we have to perfectly define it. So that is y. Once we find the y factor, then we have to measure it. What is expected by the customer, that we have to measure it. Measurement means at present at present what is we are delivering. For example, pizza delivery, what is the average time of delivery, whether it is a target maybe 30 minutes, but whether we are delivering within 30 minutes, that averages and other things we have to find out. Or suppose our objective of delivering to the customers is say 99% accurate items without defect, for example 99%. So whether we are delivering the 99% or not, we have to measure it. So the current process measurement is a measure phase. Then we have to analyze which are the contributing factors, why the delay is happening or why the defect is happening. So fundamentally we called about quality has two problems. One is the defect and another is delay. So we have to find out in analysis phase what is the causes for the defects and what are the causes for the delays. So those are the X factors, means what are the inputs contributing for these defects and delays. So that we have to find out, that is analyze. Once we find which are the factors contributing for the defects and delays, then we have to improve upon those X factors. Once we have improved upon and implemented it, then we have to see that it has to be sustained. It has to be documented, it has to be communicated to the process owners and etc. And then it has to be measured also over a period, so that it is sustained, that improvements are sustained. So this is the broad approach of the Six Sigma. Then again the same this concept. The define phase, we are defining the y, and in the measure phase we are the current status of the process, what is its capability, what is the factual deliveries we are finding. For example, this is the X factors and Y factors, we are finding out the current status. Then in analyze we are finding the XY relationship, what are the prominent or which are the most contributing factors for the x, means for the y. What are the
Mr.
most
Panigrahi,
contributing
I have a
factors of
question.
x which are affecting the y, we have to finding out, that is analysis. Then improvement, yes, we have to address the x so that we can improve the y. Then control, yes, we have to control and sustain over a period of time. So this is, once we focus on the x, the result y will be automatically be improved. That is the basic concept behind the Six Sigma. Then there is a approach I told you, DMAIC, means first is the defining the y factor here. Now what is the expectation of the customer, that is been taken from the recording of the voice of customer and translated into CTQ, that is critical to the customer, means quality, critical to the quality. So here what is happening, we are taking the voice of customer and determining the CTQ, means what is the requirement in the measurable parameters which is satisfy the customer's requirement, or CTQ. Then we define the problem. Once we define problem, we develop the project charter, after also team charter. Then high level process mapping also been done in this define phase. So broadly, what is the process at the current phase we have to define, that is the current level process mapping. So this is about the define. Then in the define, these are the various tools and techniques have been used. Of course, we are not talking details here, but these are the various tools and techniques are required to be used. And the output of it is a project charter and high level processing process mapping. Then we are moving to this this measure. This is the measure phase. In the measure phase, we are finding which is the key wise, means what is the problem or what is the opportunity, what is the customer's point of view, that we are finding out at current level. Current level, what we are satisfying the customer, what is the defects level, or what is the delays, or what is the rejections. So we are finding this exact measurements we are finding out. So here they collect the data and measure the data, then check the measurement system variations and variations. Then check the data distribution, whether it is following the normal curve or other thing, that has to be find out. And then check the current process stability and capability, whether the current process is normally distributed, means currently stable or not, or currently it is capable or not of delivering the required deliverables. So that is what finding out this measurement phase. Measurement phase, remember, it is about the current process at present, what it is, what is the takt time, what is the cycle time, what is the lead time, or what is the deviations percentage, or what is the delays percentage. Like that we are finding what is at present. And then these are the various tools and techniques we use it in the define phase, in the measure phase. Then we are moving to the analyze. Analyze this, finding out the root causes, what are the critical X factors. Therefore we establish whether the X factor is affecting the Y or not, means output. So therefore we are establishing the XY relationships, and here we are identifying the possible causes. Then process approach. Then we are making a hypothesis testing also and regression testing to finding out the relationship, the X and Y relationships we are finding out. Then we are establishing the X and Y relationship. Therefore the prominent X factors which are contributing for the defects in the Y is been established now, means that root causes have been identified. And in analyze phase, of course, we use, these are the various tools and techniques we use it. Then improvement stage. Once we find out what are the root cause, so that we have to improve that X factors, so that Y will be corrected, or Y improvement will be there possible in the Y. So here we are identifying the possible solutions, then developing the process map, and based on the different solutions, then cost benefit analysis and risk analysis also we have to do it, so that what are the solutions we are suggesting or improvements we are taking up, what are the consequential results we have to identify, what are the benefits, or what is the loss, or what are the risk factors, that we have to identify. Then test and refine the best solution. After testing, we have to find out which are the best solution. After finding the best solution, we have to implement. Then measure and validate the improvement also. Means we have to validate that improvement. Means there is a x and factors or correlations are there. Then we have to find which are the prominent x, and x is improved upon. That improvement on x, what has happened, we have to validate. Yes, this is contributing for the y, and that improvement is possible through this solution. So that is what improvement phase. In the improvement phase, again we are using this. These are the various tools and techniques. That improvement phase. Then the final step is the control. Control means once we have to improvement we have identified, that solution is identified, we have to see over a period of time whether it is sustainable or not. Therefore, here we make in this controlling phase, the process documentation will do. What are the improvements we have done, that has to be documented and communicated to the various process owners, that change what is happened. Then implement the CPC, means statistical process control charts and other thing we have to monitor properly through control charts. And then we have to stabilize this system, means sustainable. Then finally we are to handing over this documentation, everything to the process owners, so that the project, the Six Sigma project what you have taken is complete now. So this is how the steps. Here the tools and techniques, these are the various tools and techniques that are used in the control phase. Then in the control phase activity, just we have to understand, because the last process very important, because whenever we are telling that the project is success and we are handing over to the process owners, then we have to understand what we are submitting. So one is briefly describe the process steps, that improvements what I have done, and it has to be documented. Standard operating procedures has to be written down. Then indicate the process owners and who are the beneficiaries. Then update the documents and communicate the changes to the all the stakeholders concerned. Then show the process steps and draw the process flow charts, and also make major steps for the process and determine the success factors for and measurements, what measurements has to be taken. All those things we have to indicate, and also indicate the expectations and the relevant quality indicators. And also we have to say that what are the different process charts we have to use, and also what are the performance parameters or criteria. Based on that we are using this process. So what are the criteria for the acceptance, what are the control limits, all those things we have to define properly, and then we have to hand over this newly improved system. Process improvements has to be handed over to the process owners. And the last chart I will talk about what is the success factor, because you have taken a Lean Six Sigma project for the improvement of the process. Then what are the major factors contributing for the success, just I want to tell you. So one is the top management commitment and leadership is very essential. Then selection of the right project also very important, because certain times for the sake of taking the project it will not yield much of the result, but you have to identify what is your project, means our business objectives and goals, and which are the most troubling issues. Of course, if you take that, thereby the management interest will be also there. Suppose then opportunity for improvement of the, for example, the profit improvement or the margins improvement or the improvement of the customer satisfaction, like projects when you are taken, that goals should be very perfectly defined and understood, and management, it should be interest to the management and ultimately contributing the organization. So therefore you take the correct right project selection. Then this organization structure and resource capability and allocation also very important. Right people has to be allocated to the project. Then people's involvement is very, commitment is very essential, and across the, because most of the projects when you take up, the cross functional support is required. Therefore the cohesive teamwork when is developed, then it will be giving the good result. Then of course motivation and clear communication plan, cultural orientation also very essential. Then external stakeholder support also we have to take, and their views also we have to take, like customers and other side the suppliers and various other stakeholders. And based on the facts based only we have to take the decisions. So this is the very fundamental about this. And accountability reward system should be inbuilt. then proper selection of the Six Sigma tools, because there are n number of tools are there. All tools may not be essential, but what is the essentially required tools, we have to adopt it. So then monitoring the project and tracking the skill and the progress reporting, then recording, documenting, that is very important. That is what we did in the control phase. So that is very important. Then celebrate the success. So this is a basic concept about the Lean Six Sigma. Broadly, I covered the most of the concepts clearly. So with this, I want to close. So thanks a lot.